Hi guys, welcome to my California water blog. I hope you all are having a good week and let's get started. As we all learned this week, we learned about the different canals and aqueducts in California, and like most people, including me, that live in California, we tend to forget that we live in a desert, and I, I know it's like we have so much grass and so much plant life and farmers and agriculture that we never stop and think, how did we get this? Like we never look back at why or how this happened. And looking at all the readings and the videos this week, I actually found more of an interest in the the relationship between the Owens Valley and the LA Los Angeles issue with the aqueducts made by William Mulholland. So yeah, I'm gonna go more in depth with that. So as you guys may know from the videos and probably from the pictures I have provided here, um, the making of the aqueduct between Owens Valley and LA was a big event that happened for LA, and it made LA prosperous and people were gathered for the opening of it, and Mulholland was very proud of it at first, and but the issue I feel with this, as you guys probably seen in the videos, was that the river was owned by the farmers in Owens Valley by law technically. Therefore, um, they went to the courthouse, and Fred Eaton, who was Mulholland's friend, and I believe he was the mayor of LA, if I remember correctly. Um, he went behind Mulholland's back and bought the rights to the river for himself. So basically, even though the aqueducts was a good thing for the LA, there was a lot of shady things happening, and it made a very bad, uh, tense tension between the people of LA and the people of Owens Valley, because these people that live in Owens Valley, they're farmers, and their water is being basically drained away from them, and um, for the people of LA to buy more land around Owens River and Owens Lake, was actually attacking and shutting schools down, shutting business down. Farmers and families probably had to leave, and um, eventually, like as you know in the video, there was a time when the water was sent back to Owens Lake, and farmers were rejoicing and very happy. But like as you know, uh, once you have something and you get it taken away, greed kind of takes over. So some LA people were trying to get the water back, but the town sheriff for Owens Valley was like not letting them try to take away the rights from these farmers. And honestly, in my opinion, I think that that's very something that, you know, it's a really hard thing to talk about, because on one aspect it's like these farmers own the water, they own the land around it, and they should have the right to their water. But at the same time, the people of LA they have no water, and they probably deserve the water as well, or should have a right to the water, but should negotiate, which they did, but they went back on their word. And it again, it's just tension. And honestly, the thing I wanted, like, most interested in this week, and the theme I wanted for this presentation was, what exactly is the moral rights to water? And like there's so many like different sides of this event, and like I don't know exactly if what the people of LA did was wrong, or if the people of Owens Valley was wrong. It's up in the air mostly. It really depends on opinion, because of a lot of things. So, like in Merchant's book on page 216, they said the water, instead of remaining appurtenant to the land, it becomes alien to it. It is a thing apart which one can own, though he does not possess the soil, though without it the soil is useless. The monopolist of California is the water company, an organization which appropriates and dams the streams and sells the water like so much merchandise. So basically, the aqueduct started as benefiting LA, but as time goes on, uh, people get greedy and it becomes monopolized. It becomes all about money and not about humanity more so. And again, I mentioned there's contradictions and stuff. Like for example, uh, in the PowerPoint notes, it said individual water rights are usac- u- usufructuary. Sorry. Which means that one uses water but does not own it. I kind of saw that as a contradiction to Owens Valley and LA's case because um, people in LA, such as the ex-mayor, he was buying land without telling anyone, and he was using that land to have access to water and so forth. And yet, the U.S. Leaves and reserves the right to water to support these areas. Yet they don't really show much support for the farmers in Owens Valley, in a government perspective, technically. And in the PowerPoint notes, it mentions ripar- riparian rights, which says that farmers own land, thus rivers. But LA people bought, like I said, unsettled land near it secretly. And then there was appropriative rights, which was first come, first served. But in this case, you would think that the farmers would be the first come because they live there and first served, so they would own it and have the rights to it. But again, contradictory. It really depends on how you see it. Um, and the effects of this are that over time, LA is taking water from Owens Valley, and the people of Owens Valley struggle, and agriculture probably declined immensely. I remember in the video, one woman was describing how her mom remembers fruit trees as a child. They're like peach trees, apple trees, and such. When recently now, there's like probably not much now. It's just more of a desert, and like most places we see around here. And again, it's sad because towns, schools, land was taken or businesses were shut down, so people had to leave, which was really sad. And personally, I think that's just really hard to think about. So, yeah, I just think that, like, what is exactly the right, what's what moral right is it should people have to water? So, yeah, going back to pretty much what I was saying about both sides of the issue between Owens Valley and LA. As you can see in this picture, the left picture, the big one, that is LA when they have obviously the access to water and they built businesses and they brought their town from a struggling desert town to a prosperous city. And meanwhile, to the right you see these farmers from Owens Valley. They just have these now I wouldn't say shabby houses, but they're like obviously you can tell that they probably made those themselves. They're hard workers. They have animals to take care of, children to take care of. They have families and different lives from the people that live in LA. I just personally I feel that the moral rights to water should be that they should have shared it, which they tried to negotiate that, but again, it fell through and there was tension between them and like there was really like a lot of it was kind of up in the air when it came to rights to water, like who owned it. Like technically the farmers did, but the people of LA and Mulholland, they managed to make an aqueduct to connect them, but as you know in the end of the video, it was blown up later because of tension, and also Mulholland was just done with people LA for becoming what he didn't expect him to become. And honestly, he was backstabbed a lot by his peers. And so yeah, basically the whole point of my video was to kind of make you think about like, yes, this is how LA was made, but like you got to think about like behind the curtain kind of thing. Like, yes, LA is amazing now; it's like prosperous and stuff, but like you got to think about like, well, how did they get there? And in this case, it seems like they've done this by at first taking water from other people who were trying to settle in and have a life of their own as well. And I'm not saying that every town that was making aqueducts and canals and all that were stealing water from each other and causing tension. No, no. I'm sure there's cases that there weren't, but um, it's just good to look back at history and see the wrongs, the rights, and what you think that could have been done better or what could have been better options for these people to uh, prosper in their own ways. So yeah, I just honestly this was so interesting to me, and I had really I actually had a lot of fun watching the Cadillac Desert videos, and uh, I had fun making this presentation, and I had a lot of fun thinking about these kind of things because honestly, I've lived in Corona all my life, and I've never ever thought about um the water issues here. Like I know we're in drought and stuff, but I never actually thought about like how they dealt with it back then. So yeah, I thought it was interesting. So I hope you guys had fun listening to this, and I can't wait to hear your comments and discuss with you about my presentation. All right, have a good week, everyone. Okay, bye.